Hey guys, my job here is going to quickly be to show you how to set up the motion prac, just so that you guys can see what's going on. I thought it'd be better if I just quickly recorded something for you guys to see, and then I can show you how to get the results and compare it. I'm doing this in the prep room, so please expect some random people to come in halfway through. Alright, first things first. What we need is a card. So this is a smart card. Okay, what you can see is it's switched on here because it's switched on here because you can see that this light here is flashing. Where is the switch to switch it on? Right at the front. Cool. The other thing I've got is a string. Now this string is not very long. It's only about 50 centimeters. Okay, it's not even enough for me to go. If I stretch out my arm, this is how long this piece of string is. You don't want to make it too long. It's going to make your life really hard. Last but not least, I've got a bunch of weights. That's over a hook. And then attach the edge of my system, I have a pulley. Now the object of the pulley is that I can easily hang my string over the edge. Okay? And as the string hangs over the edge, it will fall down and pull the cart down with it. Okay. So, how you set up the actual prac. Tie one end to this force sensor here. Tie the other end to your weights. I've already made a loop here, so I don't need to actually tie it. If you need to tie it, then just tie a knot. This goes over here. I let go, and I catch it before it falls off the edge. Okay, so how do you actually open up the experiment? What have you got to do? So the trick to open up the experiment is to go Open Pascal Experiments. You want to go Essential Physics, and then this is the fastest way to do it anyway, and go Newton's second law, because that's the one that we're going to be testing. So I'm going to click on Newton's second law, and then I get this here. Now, you may need to connect to your cart. For example, let's just say I've got my cart, pops up here. I check the number on my cart. My cart here says it's number 44458. And so that's the number that I connect to. And after a little bit, waiting, the cart will say, you are connected to the cart. Good. And look at that, we've got a pretty much full battery. Beautiful. Okay. So what we can do now is we can start the experiment. Now, obviously this is going to be, before we start the experiment, we need to do one last thing. Without the string on the hook, what we want to do is we want to zero our force sensor. Down the bottom left here, CRS's force is negative 0.3 newtons. We want to make sure this is 0. So to zero this, you just click on this and you go 0 sensor. Make sure nothing's touching the force sensor. And now it says 0. Now you will have people in your group to help you do this, but I'm going to try and do this with a one person. So it's going to be incredibly interesting. What you want to do is you want to start your timer recording. And you're going to let it record for, I don't know, say 2 seconds before you let your cart go. Now when you let your cart go, your cart will go down the ramp. And then when your cart reaches the end, you want to catch it before it goes off the edge. Okay, and then after all that's happened, you then stop the recording. Let's give it a whirl. Okay, and I'm going to let go. I'm going to start. I'm going to count 1, 2. I'm going to let go. Okay, now you can see with this there's a lot of mess here. We can see this is where the velocity, the force is here. The velocity is 0. It's not moving. Then all of a sudden the speed keeps getting faster and faster and faster, and then I do some weird things with my hand here. So we actually don't care about this section here where there is we actually don't care about this section here where it's all messy. We only care about this important section here in the blue and orange. Let's start off with the velocity. Let's measure the velocity. To measure the velocity, what you want to do is you want to make sure you select on the blue line. You're going to click on this blue line anywhere you want. And see this middle button here? This middle button says add slope. And what it will do is it'll measure the slope. Now hopefully you know that if the slope on a velocity time graph is the acceleration. So that is our value of our acceleration, 1.552. And then I want to measure the force. To do that, I switch to the orange button and I click on the orange line at the same rough point, and then I'm going to click on this square button. That tells me we've got 0.37 newtons, and that's the force. So that's going to be the force that we're going to use for the actual experiment. We've got a force, we've got acceleration. We're going to write both of those down in our table. Now at the very end, you should have a table. You should have a bunch of data that looks like this. I've got here a list of accelerations and a list of forces, and then I can use that to make a graph, and the graph looks like a straight line. You can also put these values in here. If you click to the right, you could write down, okay, so for this one, let's write down the force. The force was 0.37, 0.37, and my acceleration was 1.552. 1.552 meters per second. And you can see I've got a dot here. So now if I repeat this experiment again with adding one mass each time, and I do that for 5 times, I should get a nice straight line. And it should be straight because F equals ma, and that m is a constant mass because we're not changing the mass of the cart. All right, hopefully that helps. I've been Matt Greer, and I'll be Mr. Greer, and I'll chat to you guys later. Bye.